All right, so let's kick things off, and I'm going to start off here. So this essentially has all my pinks and kind of like peachy colors, so they're like yellow and peachy toned colors on this layer. And as you can see, it's definitely not as full as the declutter video because I have since then got rid of more fragrances. So essentially, let's just quickly go through. I'm not going to give detailed review about everything. We're just going to go really quick because I do have quite a lot of fragrances to show you. So starting off here, I've got the Florentina by Marks and Spencer's. This is one of my favorite floral scents. It's very strong, very long lasting. I always have this one in my collection. As a matter of fact, I've got backups of it. It's just one of those fragrances that just makes an always make an appearance during spring, summer, and even sometimes I wear it autumn just because of how familiar the scent is. And it's very pleasant, crowd pleaser. Longevity is fantastic as well. It's definitely one of my favorites. Next is Zara Wonder Rose, and I know this has since been discontinued, I believe. Zara has this thing about changing up the bottles, changing up the scent. Sometimes I can't even keep track. But this particular one is definitely one of my favorites from this entire range. It's very floral, very sweet, almost like very innocent type of scent. Is some of these scents I'm gonna have to smell to even remember. Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely sweet floral is the vibe that I'm getting. Very pleasant. This can pass as an everyday scent. This particular one does last a little bit longer than the Zara fragrances. You can definitely see from the dent that I've used this quite a lot. And I really do like this one. Next scent is this one. This is Peonia. This is Pedro del Hierro. Hopefully I'm pronouncing it properly. And I got this during my holiday to Tenerife in 2022. We went during summer. And I picked this up because it's a floral, sweet floral scent. It does have a citrus kick to it at the opening. I love it. It's a very effortless, another effortless floral scent. Layers well, and you can wear it on its own, crowd pleaser. You know, it's just one of those pleasant, just take it and go. I have worn it a few times and the performance isn't the best, but it's still a really good scent. Next up is Zara Orchid, and I love this fragrance. This is probably one of my favorites, if not my, yeah, definitely one of my favorites from Zara. This one, the performance is really nice. Again, another floral scent. This one also has a citrus kick to it. Yeah, it does have a citrus kick to it. I do love the scent combination, the scent profile. This is another spring summer type of fragrance that I like to wear. Very pleasant, effortless. You don't have to think about it. Just grab and go. Seems to have those types of scents on this particular shelf. Next is Coach. I believe this is Coach by Coach. I am pretty sure the name of this fragrance is Coach and it is by Coach. This one pleasantly surprised me. So I purchased this from Look Fantastic and then I didn't wear it for the longest time and I only recently pulled it out towards the end of 2022 to use it a few times and I was pleasantly surprised by this one. It smells absolutely fantastic. Let me spray. Yeah, I do like the bottle of this one as well. So, yeah, it smells absolutely fantastic. It's again another floral, fruity type of fragrance. Very effortless, crowd pleaser. It does have a bit of citrus to it, and it's just soft. It's like the dry down is very sweet and very comforting. So this is one of the reasons why I like this fragrance. This is another effortless everyday type of fragrance and it's just, yeah, definitely a crowd pleaser with this one. And I do remember I got compliments wearing this fragrance. So next I've got C Fiori, I believe. That's how you pronounce it. Um, yeah, pretty sure. See Fiori. If it's not right, I'll put it on the screen. But anyway, I've been told that this has been discontinued. Which is a shame from Amani. I believe that this is one of my favorite out of this particular range. This one and the Intense that recently came out in 2021. Those are my favorite scents. This is a very pretty girl floral with a little bit of a powdery dry down to it. Yeah. Floral, sweet floral, bit of a dry down. Very pretty, very soft, very elegant type of scent. I love this fragrance and I'm very careful with how much I use now because of it being discontinued, meaning it will be incredibly difficult to find very soon. So if you can get your hands on it, definitely do. I call this like one of my pretty girl types of fragrances. Like if I really want to feel pretty, very elegant, I reach for this one. Next, I've got this one from Dolce and Gabbana, Liam Patrice, I believe it's called. This one is a fruity floral fragrance out the bat. But it does have rhubarb in it, and so because of the rhubarb, it has a different type of fruitiness to it. Some people say it can pull off a little bit of a body odor type of scent. I don't agree. I think it's a very unique floral fragrance, and you know, I like to wear it during the spring and summer times. It's very bubbly, very fruity. I do get compliments. I actually get asked what I'm wearing with this one. Yeah, you can definitely smell the rhubarb off the bat and throughout the performance of the fragrance, but it's still a very pleasant fruity scent. And if you layer this with a vanilla heavy scent, you get like the creamiest, like a dessert, like a fruity vanilla cake type of dessert, which I love to do. So yeah, Dolce and Gabbana, and it's pretty inexpensive as well, this one. Next, I've got VIP Private Show by Britney Spears. This again is another effortless pretty girl type of fragrance. I really like this scent. It's very sweet, very delectable, easygoing fragrance, not much to say. Another cheapie though, it's a really good cheap fragrance. Next is Kayali Sweet Diamond Pepper. So this is Sweet Diamond Pink Pepper by Kayali. I love this fragrance. It's got a spicy kick to it. It's a gorgeous floral scent. Sweet floral with some spiciness to it. Most of these fragrances, I do want to say probably I have a review on my TikTok. Or I've ranked them, or I've categorized them. So definitely follow me on TikTok if you're not. This one is one of the fragrances that everyone tries to steal from my collection because it was incredibly limited edition. So this is 212 VIP Party Fever. And I remember that I was in Gran Canaria when this fragrance released, and I purchased mine in Gran Canaria. And the guy then told me, oh, it's not going to be released in the UK and that I need to purchase it. And I thought it was a gimmick, but luckily I purchased it because I fell in love with it. This is like if you mix cocktails, like bubbly cocktails with champagne. It's a party type of fragrance. This is great for clubbing, very bright, very bubbly. It's a stunning fragrance. And since coming back, I haven't seen it in the UK. I haven't seen it at all. And so every time I show people this, they always go, where'd you get it? Where'd you get it? But yeah, I absolutely love this fragrance. It's one of my little unique scents, and you can see I am slowly getting to a point where I'm going to stop using it soon because of how much I love it. And I want to preserve it. Next is Anais Anais by Cacharel. This one pretty much is nostalgia in a bottle. I got this fragrance because it was one of the fragrances my mom used to wear growing up, and I absolutely love the scent on her. It's another, I call them like pretty girl fragrances. This is another one, only because I want to spray it. Only because it has like a really delicate, like a delicate, yeah, delicate sense to it, like powder. uh, it's very difficult to describe. To me, it's very unique to my nose. I know some people will say it smells like old lady, which I'm still yet to understand what old lady smells like, but this is unique. This is a unique scent. It brings back so many memories. My mom used to wear it. She absolutely loves it. I think she's had it a few times recently in her collection. It's an eau de toilette, but it performs really, really well. So this one is just for nostalgia purposes. I do spray it occasionally, but it's mostly for nostalgia. Um, Next is my Coco Mademoiselle by Chanel. This was a gift from my husband. I absolutely love this fragrance. My mom used to wear this as well. This is one of those fragrances that I knew I wanted in my collection. I just wanted it. If I liked it or not, I didn't care. I wanted it, and I fell in love with the scent. This is a very elegant, sophisticated fragrance to me. I know some people say it's outdated, blah, 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 like they always say, but you can't be outdated if you're a classic. It's a classic fragrance. Oh, it's just elegance in a bottle. It's elegance in a bottle. It's elevated. It lasts ages on the skin. The performance is great. This is one of my top, boss lady vibes type of fragrances. Rich auntie vibes. I like to give off those vibes with this fragrance. So yeah. Next is Angel Muglia, Angel Nova. And this one was a blind buy for me initially. No, it wasn't, not this one. There's another one that I bought that's a blind buy, not this one. This one I smelt it. I had a sample. A friend sent me a sample. I smelt it. I fell in love with it. This one has like a spicy kick to it, if I remember correctly. I feel like I'm gonna spray everything. Yeah, fruity, but it just almost smells like it's got a little bit of spice to it, which I love. But it is a fruity, citrus fruity type of scent, very bubbly, very bright. I love it. I love the bottle. Some people hate on the bottle, but I do love it. I know it's kind of blinding you guys because of the silver, but I absolutely love it. Yeah. Next, we've got Oriana by Perfumes de Mali. This is a niche fragrance house. Will we call them niche? Yeah, they do moisturizers, but that's still part of the fragrance family. So this is Oriana. This is the one that I fell in love with. I know a lot of people fell in love with Delina Exclusive and the Delina itself. But Oriana just had it for me. Oriana is a Gourmand girl's dream. If you're wondering what Gourmand means, it just means you've got really sweet tooth. You love creamy, sweet fragrances. Those are the ones that make you happy. And that's exactly what I get in the scent. The performance might not be there. She doesn't really perform that well, but she will smell good. She will make you smell good. She's delicious. She's very sweet, and I love her. Next is Sunset to Sunrise, and this is one of a set of fragrances from Next. And to be honest, I haven't really tested these ones too much, so I can't really say. Trying to get a tester strip. Can't really say. I know there's one. I think it's Moment of Rebellion that I absolutely love. But I think this one is Bright. Yeah, this is soapy, bit of spice, bit of fruitiness to it. So Sunset to Sunrise. Yeah, I do like it. It's very bright and soapy as well. Almost feel like maybe there's jasmine in this. No, what I can smell is actually orris. There's orris in this, there's cedarwood, there's amber, there's cardamom in this, but there is a citrus kick to it as well. And there's orange blossom in the middle to give it that sweetness that I can smell as well. So yeah, this is pleasant. I love this one. I need to wear it a little bit, see what it wears like on my skin. Next, I've got Glass Rose by Mix Bar. This is a fragrance that I picked up from Target in the US when I went in 2022. I got this and a few others, which I'll show you in the collection. But this for me is like a floral, the bit of a citrus kick. It's got rose in it. It dries down to a powdery note, and it's got some sweetness to it. This one doesn't last long. Like this entire range, the longevity isn't the best. But what I like to do is I like to mix it with other fragrances. So this one kind of just gives me like a really bright, fruity, floral type of scent. So I like to mix it with other fragrances that give me exactly the same vibe. Next up is The Favorite by Penhaligon's. If somebody asks you to show a pretty, girly, pretty perfume bottle, this would be her. This is just like the most elegant, beautiful bottle with the little bow. It's so cute. I wish the juice was like pinky, like more of a pinky color. It does have a little bit of a pinky hue to it, but I think just something a little bit more. Or if the bow was red, I don't know. It's cute. I just there's more that can be done, obviously. This is a powdery floral fragrance. It's got a bit of muskiness to it, but it's definitely heavy on the powdery and definitely heavy on the floral, which I like. There's iris in this one, there's jasmine, there's mimosa. I know there are a couple of other florals in here, and there's mandarin orange, which is one of my favorite fruity notes in fragrances. So I do love this. It does have a bit of muskiness to it, but the powderiness is soft, is not off-putting, is not too strong, especially if you're asthmatic like me. Things like that are bothersome, but this one is very, very pleasant. I love this fragrance. It's a little bit pricey, for what it is, but she's pretty. You're not gonna get the longest, performance on this one, but just carry a little decant. She'll surprise. She'll surprise everyone. She's a pretty little girl, so yeah, just carry a decant. Just to explain, just in case if you're like, what's a decant? Decant is just essentially you getting little bottle, you know, dispensers that you can carry your fragrance around in. So you can dispense a little bit in the bottle and then have the pleasure of having your fragrance with you rather than carrying the entire bottle in your handbag. If you want to carry the bottle, you can go ahead, but I'm always just like, I don't want the bottle to break, especially if it's like an everyday type of situation. I'm not going on holiday, so I would like to decant a little bit in a bottle and then I'm good to go. Next up is Sparkling Hibiscus. This is another mixed bar type of fragrance, and it's another cheapie. The mixed bar scents are incredibly cheap. I can't remember how much I got it. I know Target was doing sales, but I think it's about $19.99. Don't quote me. I don't live in the US, but I know it was pretty cheap. So I did pick up a few. I even picked up some as gifts for friends. So this one is another floral citrus. It's got a little bit of a spicy kick to it, but what I really love about this one is that it gives me that kind of bubbly champagne type of feel, which you don't really get in all the other fragrances. The only other fragrance that kind of gives me a little bit of that vibe is the VIP Fever and also the Angel Nova, but this one definitely has it there. The dry down is a little bit musky, I would say, but essentially it's a very, very pleasant fragrance. You can wear it on its own, or you can mix it with other scents. It's got bergamot in it, which is another citrus fruit that I love, citrus notes that I love in fragrances because it gives you that kind of bright, that bright awakened effect, which I love in scents. So this one she's gorgeous. She's a pretty one. She's probably the one I've used the most, this one, and I believe it's called coconut something or whipped almond or something like that. But yeah, I do like this one. Next up, we've got My Way Floral. And I have the My Way Intense, which I finished in 2022. So rather than pick up another bottle of the My Way Intense, I went ahead and I picked this one up. This was another fragrance that I smelled in the US in Sephora, and I immediately fell in love with it. And it went on my list straight away because it's a very soft take on the My Way range. It's different from My Way Original, My Way Intense. It just has that more of a floral presence, more of a citrus presence, and the tuberose is there, but it's softer. It's just a really, really different vibe, and it does have vanilla in the dry down as well in the base. So I overall, it's a very, very pleasant fragrance. I feel like it's if you find the intense version a little bit too much, this is probably your best bet. It's a lot softer, um a lot more for the floral lovers, I think, than the intense. The intense was more if you're tuberose, like you love tuberose, you love fruity florals, but heavy on the fruity. This one is heavier on the floral, softer on the tuberose, and it's got a creamy dry down. That's the best way I can sort of describe it. Next up, next up, I have Cherry Smoothie by Zara. Put your hands up if you're one of those people that fell for the, oh yeah, there is a dupe for Lost Cherry. Zara has a dupe. I was one of them. I was on one of them, but I was lucky enough to smell Lost Cherry at duty free at the airport. And honestly, these two fragrances are completely different. So I'm gonna speak about this one on its own. This is a sweet cherry fragrance. It's got some fruitiness there. You've got vanilla. It's got a little bit of floral to it. You know, it's got some really pretty notes. So the cherry is very prominent. Vanilla is beautiful in the dry down. There's plum, there's heliotrope in this as well. It's on its own without trying to say that it's dupe. It's a very nice fragrance. The performance isn't the best, but we already know this about Zara fragrances. So if you're looking for a cherry fragrance that is prominent, like the cherry is very prominent, but has a creamy, sweet, dry down, a bit of floral to it, then definitely this is the one to go for. In all honesty, this one is my preference. I don't like Lost Cherry. To me, the cherry is too bitter. It's just a bitter fragrance. I don't find it pleasant. It doesn't dry down well on my skin. But this one, I like it. I even wear it to bed. That's how soft I feel like it is. So yeah, definitely I recommend this one over Lost Cherry any day. This. Right. So next up, we've got one of my favorite fragrances from Kayali. This is the Utopia Vanilla Cocoa 21. And I love this. I always say that this has like a boozy kick to it, a boozy kick to the coconut, to the vanilla. Although rum or alcohol or whatever isn't mixed into the notes, like it's not part of the description. I don't know what it is, but I just get a little bit of booziness from it. This also has vanilla in the dry down, so it's very sweet, which I love. It's creamy. There's also tuberose. There's a bit of lemon in the opening, and of course, there's that coconut. This one pairs really well with Kayali 28, so just the vanilla scent. If you really, really, really want to pull out that vanilla a little bit more, so you'll get something like boozy vanilla and coconut type of mix. Kind of, it's almost like a drink. It smells absolutely delicious. You've got some floral to it as well and some woodiness. Overall, it's a beautiful fragrance. This is probably um in close competition with Kayali 21. I think Kayali 21 triumphs over this one just because that one can be mixed with other fragrances more than this one. I feel like the booziness of this one just kind of prevents you from mixing it with floral scents and all of that. It's more of like your amber, more of like your autumn, winter type of scent profile. But Kayali 28, you can mix that with so many other fragrances for spring, for summer, for autumn, all year round. So, but anyway, I love this fragrance. It's gorgeous. I'll definitely say get your nose on it if you haven't smelled it. It's just one of my favorites from this brand. No doubt, this fragrance is one of the top, and I've said it in some of my videos as well on TikTok, that this is one of the top 20 fragrances every woman should have or at least should experience in her collection. This is Flower Bomb by Viktor and Rolf, and this is a floral fragrance. There's patchouli in this one. It's very powdery. Like honestly, it's very powdery. The opening has like a citrus kick to it. You've got the florals in the middle. You've got orchid, you've got jasmine, you've got rose. You've also got patchouli in the dry down, and you've got, sorry, in the base, and you've also got vanilla, and it's a bit musky as well. The dry down of this is very powdery. In short, the opening of this, aside from the citrus, it is incredibly powdery. The patchouli in this one is prominent, but it isn't off-putting. I do feel like it gives it its earthy, sweet earthy edge to it, which I absolutely love. I think that the patchouli in this one's been done really well. I haven't used it that much just because the powderiness sometimes can get a little bit much. So I often have to either mix it with another fragrance to kind of make the powderiness a little bit subtle, or I wear it when I'm going out. I don't like to wear it when I'm in the house because I do feel a little bit claustrophobic, but it's still one of those fragrances that I love to have in my collection. The performance on this one as well is really, really good. So if you love powdery scents and you don't have this in your collection, I definitely recommend that you go out and sniff, like really go out and smell it. Next up, I've got this one from Floral Street. This is the Wonderland Peony, and I got this towards the end of 2022. You'll find that my scent profile that I love vanilla, I love sweet florals, I love citrus, anything with bergamot in the opening, like you've sold me. I love anything with rum. I love an amber fragrance. I just love cozy, sweet, bubbly, floral type of scents. That's what I love. So this one is a fruity floral fragrance again, and I love this one because the dry down is slightly powdery. There is a bit of rose in this one, which I love. The dry down as well is very sweet. There's vanilla, there's cotton candy. The opening, there's Sicilian lemon. So again, you've got that brightness at the opening. In the middle, there's violet, there's raspberry bloom. And overall, it's a pretty, very pretty floral fragrance for women. I recommend it if you're looking for a kind of like a sweet floral opening, but a warm, cozy, creamy type of dry down. That's the vibe it gives me. Similar vibe I get is Irresistible by Givenchy. This one was love at first sniff. As you can see, I've used this quite a lot. This is a very versatile fragrance. I wear it out, I wear it at night. It's very delicious to me. Again, it's another fruity, floral type of fragrance. It does have a little bit of powderiness to it, but nothing too much. I feel like the sweetness in this one compensates for the floweriness. So if you don't like for the powderiness. So if you don't like powdery fragrances, don't worry. This one is sweet, so you're not gonna notice. But yeah, fruity floral type of scent. Some of the notes, you've got rose, as I said, rose, iris. There's pear in the opening. There's also musk in the base. I don't know how to describe this fragrance other than it's delicious, it's pleasant, crowd pleaser. I do have a review actually on my TikTok where I break down the notes and I break down how it smells, the opening, the dry down, and everything. But as you can see, it made its way to my top 20 fragrances of 2022. So fragrances that I purchased in 2022 and I enjoyed. It definitely made its way up there. I mean, look at that dent. It's stunning. Another gorgeous cheapie from Zara is Fields at Nightfall. I love this one. This is a fragrance I actually haven't worn it out of the house. I've worn it in the house. I've worn it to bed. For me, it gives me a warm, sweet, floral type of vibe. There is some powderiness to it. There are floral notes in this one. So at the opening, there's praline, and then there's jasmine, and there's sandalwood, amber. It's a woody, warm, sweet type of scent. It's very cozy, very comforting, hence why I like to wear it to bed. I haven't worn it out of the house. I just like to wear it to bed. Performance isn't the best, but honestly, the performance on that one, I don't know, maybe because of the amber or the sandalwood at the base, but it does perform a little bit better than cherry smoothie and the other blue one that I've got in the blue section. So it is a good one if you can still get your hands on it, because I know how Zara are. It'll be very difficult for you to find it, but hopefully you can, because it is worth getting your nose on it. All right, I'm taking it back because I knew something wasn't right. I've looked up sunset to sunrise on Next because my description was more of the moments of rebellion and it just wasn't making sense to me. But anyway, this one is dry, sweet amber. Um, there's dark chocolate, caramel, yeah, there's bergamot, there's coffee, there's patchouli, there's amber. That makes more sense. The brightness makes more sense. Speaking of moments of rebellion, this one is the one that's probably my favorite in the entire collection that I got from Next. This is the one that has cardamom, has citrus notes in it, has orange blossom, orris, cedarwood, amber. It's very earthy, perfect for autumn, winter, very comforting. I love the smell of this one. Let's give it a spritz. This is the one that I've used. Yeah. I feel like a man could wear this. It kind of gives me a bit of a boozy vibe to it as well. Yeah, I definitely do feel like a man could wear this one. This next one has a special place in my heart. I decluttered the Valentino Donna Bonaroma because I just wasn't feeling it. But my son and my husband bought me this one for Mother's Day last year, and I absolutely love it. I had a sample size, so I had a 10 milliliter size. I gave that to my sister, and I've just been using this one. I absolutely love this fragrance. So this one is the Valentino Donna Bonaroma Coral Fantasy. This is another musky, fruity, kind of like a tropical fruity type of vibe. It's got citrus in it as well. Floral, the dry down is a little bit powdery, but you still get the fruitiness, the citrus, the what am I looking? The tropical vibe. You still get that throughout the performance of this fragrance. There's rose, there's jasmine, there's kiwi, there's Brazilian orange, there's musk in this one as well. It's a very, very pleasant scent. I don't know, the Donna Bonaroma to me just didn't smell like it was worth the hype or worth the money. But this one, it's different. I like to wear it during spring, summer. It just is very happy going, very pleasant, crowd pleaser. I get compliments with this one. And plus it's got sentimental attachment, but just generally as a fragrance, it is very pretty. Speaking of pretty, this is another one that gives me pretty girl vibes. I believe that I purchased this one. It was just a blind buy purchase, you know? I was like, oh, I'm in the mood for a small fragrance. I'm just gonna get this one. It's a 50 ml, blah, blah, blah. And just look at it. It's almost done. It's another floral, tropical, sweet, fruity type of fragrance. There's vanilla, it's very comforting. There's a bit of citrus, there's a little bit of spice. It dries down to a little bit of a powdery feel, but still staying sweet. It's very, very comforting. Absolutely comforting. It's definitely an amber floral fragrance. There's a lot of notes in this one. There's frangipani, there's magnolia, there's rose, there's lily, there's also vanilla, there's vetiver, there's lychee, bergamot. You know, bergamot gets me. There's pear. It's a delicious fragrance. The name suits it. Sparkling blush. It's a really sparkly, very sweet, fruity, floral, tropical vibes type of fragrance. Very comforting. I like to wear this to bed, okay? And I also like to wear it out during spring, summer, but most times I wear it to bed and it gets me results. So let's leave it there. Let's just leave it there. And the last one on this shelf is Tropical Boost by Zara. And yeah, it's another sweet floral tropical type of fragrance. There's rose in this one as well. There's white floral in this one. Very simple. The opening is bright, very awakening. There's grapefruit in it. There's also pineapple, so it's very sweet. There's rose, there's jasmine, there's almond milk, there's brown sugar. It is very sweet. It's like a creamy, I would say almost lactonic, but not really lactonic. I feel like it's more of like your creamy, sweet dry down with a bit of white florals and sweetness with a bit of brightness at the top. But I kind of sometimes don't feel like that combination in this particular fragrance mixes well. Maybe it's my nose. I don't know. But every time I spray it, I expect to get a hit of like a comforting tropical cocktail with a bit of powderiness to it. And then the dry down will be warm, will be comforting with the vanilla. But for me, it takes too long for the vanilla to come through, like for the dry down. And then just the florals. I don't know, it just stays really um citrusy. Not as tropical as some of the other fragrances that I get. I know there's no I don't know why I keep saying vanilla. Not vanilla, brown sugar. So the sweetness of the brown sugar to come through. I don't really get that. I don't know what I'm trying to explain, but it just doesn't give me the vibe that I'm expecting. I've worn it a few times. I do like it. I was just kind of hoping it would give me more sweetness. Probably is the word, more sweetness, which I don't really get. But it's still a really nice cheapy fragrance. So yeah, that's all the fragrances on the shelf. We're gonna move up. Just let me quickly give it a count because I did say I haven't counted my fragrances. I wanted to declutter everything first and then count it. So let's see how many is on this shelf. So there are 29 fragrances on this particular shelf, and we're just gonna move up to the red shelf. All right, so we are on my second shelf, and then on this shelf, I like to keep my orange bottles. They're not that many over here, and then I've got reds, and then I've got like bronze, brown, yeah, more of the bronzy brown colors over here, which are only two rows. So let's just start from here. Starting off strong, I've got Girl of Now Shine by Ellie Sab, and I really like this fragrance. I blind bought this off recommendations on TikTok, and I've just been in love with it. You can see the juice is coming down. Juice is very beautiful. I love the packaging of this one. I love the bottle. I love this range so far. The two fragrances that I have from this house have just been amazing to me. I do love the smell. But this one particularly is more of like an amber floral type of fragrance. It is sweet, fruity. There is a little bit of nuttiness in there, and there's a bit of citrus to it. It is a little bit powdery as well. The same scent profile that I love, but I think the added benefit of this one is the bitter almond that is in the notes. It gives it a more of a nutty type of dry down. And then the opening is very sweet. There's pineapple in it. There's mandarin orange. Mandarin orange is one of my favorite notes as well. There's orange blossom. There's vanilla. So those are like some of my favorite notes, all packed in this little cute bottle. And yeah, I really love this. This is another one that I would probably repurchase once I hit an empty bottle. Next up, I've got Olympia Legend, and I have repurchased this one, or rather, I repurchased it in 2022. I did have a 50 ml bottle, I believe, and this is a 90. Why do I feel like this is a 90 ml and not 100? What is it? How many mil? No, this is an 80 ml. So I did purchase the smaller bottle, finished that, and then purchased myself a big one. The reason is because this is about the only fragrance that I have that is a salty vanilla. I don't remember if I've got any other salty vanilla, but this is the one that really, really stands out for me. It's fruity, it's sweet. Vanilla is the top notes that you get in this fragrance. It's powdery, it is salty. I mean, you've got apricots, you've got plum in the opening, very sweet. There are some floral notes in the mid, and then in the base there's vanilla, there's tonka bean, there's amber. It is very comforting. The salt in it just gives it kind of like a vanilla beach type of vibe to it that I love. Is very unique. I love the bottle as well. So this is Olympia Legend by Paco Rabanne. I think this is well done. To get this 80 ml bottle, I had to jump through hoops. So if you're looking to purchase this, I recommend you get the big size. First of all, smell it. If you love it, get the big size, because I don't think they are that easy to buy, at least from my experience. I kind of struggled to find myself the 80 ml bottle, but yeah, this is definitely a repurchase. I absolutely love the fragrance. It is very unique. Next up, I've got Armani C Intense, and this is the intense version of the Armani C range that came out in 2021. The reason is because there was one before this, which I believe came in a black bottle, and that was discontinued, and then they came out with this one. This has a little bit of spice. It does have a little bit of what's the word I'm looking for? A bit of amber. It is fruity, it's floral, it's woody, there's rose in it. It's very, very, very delicious. I love this fragrance. So the performance of this is really, really good. I would say it's long lasting. The sillage as well, so the central is very, very good. I purchased this on holiday in 2022, and no regrets. I've smelt it before, I fell in love with it, but then finding the big size bottle was a mission, so I can only get it abroad. For some reason, it's just really bizarre. Maybe it's just the city that I live in. Trying to find big bottle fragrances is a mission, but I really love this. Since somehow I do feel like, I know it's not mentioned, but I feel like honey is in this fragrance somewhere. Yeah. I do get some honey in it. I do feel like there's vanilla in it somehow. It's just very, very delicious. I'm sniffing myself. If you're wondering what I'm doing, it's a very delicious scent, very long lasting, very unique as well. Perfect addition to the C range. I definitely recommend you get your nose on it. Love the color of the juice. I love the bottle. Everything about it is just fantastic. So I think this was really well done by Giorgio Armani. Next, I've got Loewe Solo and Ella. This is another fragrance that I picked up on holiday, and Again, the shop assistant was like, "Oh, it's very fruity, it's floral, you're gonna love it." And the minute she said fruity floral, I was like, "Let me smell, let me smell," because you know I love fruity floral fragrances. It does have a citrus kick to it. It does have a little bit of powderiness. It is very sweet. I do love this fragrance. Excuse me. At the top, there are quite a number of notes. You've got peach. There's apple in there. There are flowers in the middle. We've got jasmine, orange blossom. There's damask rose. There's violet. And then the base, there's amber. There's woods. It's just a really, really well-rounded fragrance. I do have a full review of this on my TikTok in case you're interested. I broke down all the notes and what you get after the first spray and it dries down and all of that good stuff. But this is definitely I mean, the two fragrances that I've got from this fragrance house have not disappointed me. This is definitely one of those spring, summer type of fragrances. I did wear it on holiday when I purchased it. It smelled really, really good on me. I did get compliments. This as well, the performance is slightly above average. I would say that the Central as well is slightly above average. I did get compliments wearing this fragrance, and I got mine in a smaller bottle because I wasn't sure if I wanted to fork out all that money on holiday. You know how it is, you go with a certain budget, and the last thing you want to do is spend it all on fragrances. Well, I was trying to be careful, but it's definitely a fragrance that I would consider repurchasing if I was to finish this bottle. So I do like this one. And that's all for the orange. Let's start moving into the reds. The first one in front is Hibiscus by Zara. And this one, I fell for the hype on TikTok. There were a lot of people reviewing Zara fragrances then, and I was one of them. And this one just kind of, it just, yeah, it became a favorite for a lot of people, and for really good reason. I think the essence of this, you get tropical fruits. It is a fruity floral fragrance. You know how I am with fruity florals. It is pretty sweet. There's some citrus in it, a little bit of powderiness. There's vanilla in it. It is a very, very nice, well done fragrance by Zara. I think what really lets it down is the performance, which we've seen with a lot of the Zara fragrances. What usually lets it down is the performance, and you end up spraying so much just to keep the smell going that you end up just like, look, I could tell you probably I've worn this 2 or 3 times and look at where it is. You just end up, you just keep spraying it. Some of the fruity notes that are in here, you've got tangerine, there's mango, there's passion fruit. So very tropical type of vibe. There's bitter orange. And then the base, there's vanilla, there's orchid, there's amber, there's also peony in the middle. So it is a very creamy, sweet floral fragrance, fruity floral fragrance, very bubbly, very fun. It's just the performance that lets it down. So if you love fragrances like that, that will definitely lift your mood, and you really love fruity notes and fragrances that smell delicious, smells like you're on an island getaway, then this is definitely for you. Just be mindful that the performance might let it down a little bit, but it's still a very fun fragrance, and you can still combine it with other longer performing fragrances that you might have in your collection. Right, so I apologize right now if I butcher the name of this fragrance. I apologize. So this is Lolita Land Lolita Lempicka. Lempicka. I love the bottle. Can we just, I think that's a, is it a swan? Is it a deer? It's like a combination of animals at the top. I really love the attention to detail of this fragrance. It looks like she's sitting on a peach or a fruit of some kind. But anyway, this is a fruity fragrance. I really love it. If you are a sweet tooth kind of person, you love Gourmand fragrances, you're absolutely going to love this one. It's a fruity vanilla. There's some citrus to it. There's some powderiness to it. I love this. There are a lot of notes in this one, and I mean a lot of fruits. So there's Italian mandarin, orange, there's a bit of lemon and lime to give you that citrus note. There's also grapefruit, there's pepper as well. Some of the flowers are magnolia, rose, jasmine, and then at the base there's vanilla, there's licorice, there's benzoin, there's musk. It's a complex fragrance, and it all works so well blended, very sweet, very fruity. I absolutely love this fragrance, and I also love the performance of this fragrance. I do believe that for what it is, especially it's very inexpensive when I purchased it, I feel like the performance is worth the money. Definitely above average in terms of longevity. The sillage as well, I believe, is above average. I have got compliments wearing this fragrance, and I don't need to overspray this one. I do get really good payoff just by spraying a little bit. Plus, the packaging is gorgeous. So, if you're a sweet tooth kind of person and you are a gourmand lover, you love really sweet fragrances, this is the one for you. I highly recommend. It's a nice cheap fragrance. Love the bottle. So cute. This next fragrance is also a repurchased fragrance. So I've actually repurchased this, don't want to say twice now. This is one of those fragrances that I stumbled across many years ago, and I've just been repurchasing it. And it's because it's a marshmallow type of fragrance. It's very sweet. It's vanilla. It's fruity. There's a slight, and I mean ever so slight, bit of powderiness to my nose. There's a little bit of citrus to it, but the essence of this is very sweet. It's a sweet floral fragrance. Some of the notes, there's raspberry, there's mandarin orange. Again, mandarin orange is one of my favorites. There's orange blossom. The base, there's marshmallow, actual marshmallow. There's vanilla, there's sandalwood. So it does have a lot of my favorite notes in this one. And this is Dolce and Gabbana Perfume, and I love this fragrance. I'll always have it in my collection. It's very comforting to me. I like to wear it during summer even, but I prefer to wear it during the winter, autumn months when it's a lot cooler because of the marshmallow. It is pretty comforting, pretty sweet. Again, if you're a sweet tooth kind of person or you're a gourmand lover, you absolutely love this. I find this to be very comforting. It makes me happy. So it's one of those fragrances that I easily reach for. And because I love that one, I purchased the intense version. And aside from how beautiful, I really love the bottle of this range. The intense and the parfum, I really love the bottle. So this one as well, it's a sweet fragrance. It's white floral. There's some citrus to it. There is tuberose in this one. This one is really pretty. There's also marshmallow in the base. There's orange blossom. There's as I said, there's tuberose. There's mandarin in it, and there's neroli in it as well. So I love this. What makes this one slightly different from the Parfum? I feel like this one leans more into the floral aspect of it. So the tuberose, the orange blossom kind of shine through. And then when it dries down, you get the marshmallow or you get sandalwood. There's no vanilla in this one, but you still get that creamy essence when it dries down. And it is longer lasting, in my opinion, than Parfum. Both of them are just slightly above average anyway in terms of their performance, but this one outshines Parfum in my opinion, and I really do like this fragrance. The both of them combined is delicious. I like to wear them together, or I wear them separately with other fragrances, but I do recommend this. These are also affordable luxury fragrances that you can try. No, these are affordable designer fragrances that you can try. I definitely recommend, yeah, I recommend the two of them. I knew this layer was going to take me forever because as little as it kind of looks on camera, there are a lot of bottles on this shelf. And we've only done these ones. So anyway, Moving on. So next up, I've got L'Andradite Rouge by Givenchy. Again, apologize if I butcher the title of the the names of the fragrances, but this is L'Andradite Rouge by Givenchy, and this one is a spicy, um, little bit of citrus. You've got tuberose. It's a floral fragrance. It's earthy. It's very, very sexy. This is one of those come and get me type of fragrances. A woman of mystery. I love it. I love to wear it for date night. It starts a conversation. People always ask what I'm wearing. I always get compliments wearing this one. I really love it. There is bitter orange in the opening. There's also ginger, so you get a little bit of bitterness when you first spray it, but it's just gently eases itself into more of a sweeter note with the tuberose. There's jasmine in it. The base, there's patchouli, vetiver, sandalwood. All I can say is you can't knock it until you try it. This is definitely not a blind buy type of situation. You definitely want to try this out. I love this. And combining this with other fragrances as well is a joy. So if you wanted more of a sweeter note to it, you would combine it with a really sweet fragrance. If you wanted more of a creaminess to it, combine it with a vanilla heavy fragrance. Like this works really well with other fragrances, but I love to wear it on its own because it's very mysterious, it's very sexy. I love the bottle. It's very suggestive with the bondage, or the things around the neck. The performance of this as well, I personally think it's a long-lasting fragrance. You get easily over 7 hours, and the projection as well is really good. As I said, I get compliments when I go out with my husband. I definitely recommend this one. It's a very sexy fragrance for sure. On the flip side of that bitterness, if you're looking for a really, really, really sweet fragrance, then Eden Juicy Apple by Kayali does not carry last. This is a very sweet, fruity fragrance with a bit of vanilla at the dry down. I love this fragrance from Kayali. It isn't my favorite, but it is a very sweet fragrance, which I love. So if you love sweet fragrances, you're absolutely gonna love this. The apple in this one comes out, it shines. So there's red apple, there's lychee, there's pink grapefruit, there is black currant, you've got wild berries, raspberry bloom, jasmine, rose, there's sugar in it, there's vanilla, there's amber. It's a very complicated fragrance with lots of notes. However, I will say that the apple in this one shines. You get it throughout the lifespan of the fragrance, including the vanilla when it does dry down. So that's pretty much what I get. I understand there are other notes, but those are the ones that shine through for me. The performance on this is moderate, and the sillage as well is moderate. This is a very comforting scent, and it's something that I wear to bed. It's something that I mix sometimes with the L'Entredite if I want to give myself more of a sweet kick. I combine it with other Kayali fragrances just to give it a nice sweet kick to it. So it does work well with other scents, and I love it for that. Kayali fragrances work well with a lot of other fragrances, which is one of the reasons why a lot of people love them, me including. Yeah, I recommend it. It's a pretty fragrance. It's pretty fragrance. It's a pretty fragrance, and as I said, if you love sweet scents, you definitely love this one. And then they came out with Love Fest, which has more of a cherry kick to it rather than the juicy apple. So the juicy apple has more of the apple kick because that is the hero note. The hero note for Love Fest is cherry. And we know that in 2022, there were a lot of brands that came out with cherry fragrances. It almost seemed to be the trend to come out with cherry scents. And for me, initially spraying this, I got like cough syrup. It just wasn't working for me. I do believe that cherry fragrances is something that you need to ease yourself into, especially if you get more of the medicinal type of feel from the scent. You just keep trying it, ease yourself into it, really appreciate the complexity of the fragrance before you make any judgment. But anyway, there's burning cherry, there's raspberry, there's bergamot, there's also praline, there's damask rose, heliotrope, jasmine. There are so many notes. There's tonka bean, there's patchouli in this one. As I said, Kayali, they always have complex notes in their fragrances, which is what I love. But it is very woody, sweet, citrus. I would say a little bit spicy, in my opinion. There's a bit of creaminess to it as well. Yeah, it's a complex fragrance. It isn't my favorite from the Kayali range, but it does work, and it is very mysterious. I think the cherry does shine through, which is kind of what we want from fragrances that have a hero note. You almost really want to smell, you really want to smell that hero note come through. Which in both fragrances, Kayali did really well. All right, next up, I've got another Giorgio Armani fragrance, another C range. This is C Passion, and this is a fruity, sweet fragrance. It does have a little bit of spiciness to it. It's floral, it does have some citrus to it. I love this fragrance. It's very date night friendly, very sexy, very mysterious. There are notes like grapefruit, pear, pineapple, rose, jasmine. There's vanilla, there's patchouli. These are the same types of notes that I love, but what makes this one slightly different to me is there's amberwood in this, so it kind of almost gives it a woody, earthy, sexy type of feel, some depth to it, which is what I love. So this is date night, like it's perfect for date night for me. I love this fragrance. There is an intense version, I believe, Passion Intense, which I don't have in my, is it intense or, let me find out, wait 1 second. There is a Passion Eclat, which I haven't tested. I haven't tried that one. This is just the normal Passion, and I do love this one. So anyway, this is date night friendly. This is very sexy. It is my scent profile, fruity floral, but a bit of woodiness to it, some citrus to it, some powderiness. The floral is delicious. It's sweet. It's delectable. I love the bottle. Very suggestive. Definitely one of my favorites from the C range. So we've got, let it focus, we've got Baccarat Rouge 540 Extrait de Parfum by MFK. Now, everybody and their mama knows about this fragrance. They know about the whole Baccarat Rouge line. I tried the normal Baccarat. This is the extrait version. I tried the normal one. I liked it, but it just wasn't my favorite. And then when I tested this one, I preferred this one over it. So I got this one as a birthday gift, or rather my husband got it for me as a birthday gift. And you can see it's been well used and loved. It is an amber. There's a bit of nuttiness to it. It's spicy. There's a bit of fruitiness to it. There's floral. This is the perfumer behind this, we know, is Francis Curtit. He's famous. He's got a nose like no other. His fragrances are always fantastic. Hence why everyone and their mama, loves this fragrance line. And I know some people think that it's overhyped, but honestly, it's worth every penny. I do believe that this was well formulated. The entire range was well formulated, and I love everything that's come out from him. I'm still yet to get Gentle Fluidity Silver and also Grand Soir. Those are the ones that I really want to get as well. But anyway, notes in this one include bitter almond, there's saffron. Saffron is gorgeous in fragrances. There is jasmine, there's ambergris, woody notes, there's musk. I love the scent. The scent trail is fantastic. The performance on this as well is fantastic. Don't knock it until you try it. Honestly, I promise you, don't knock it until you try it. I love it, and I'm so happy I've got it in my collection. This next fragrance is more of a sentimental fragrance to me. My mom used to wear this when I was little, and this is Amor Amor by Cacharel. And this is a citrus, fruity, floral type of fragrance. I really love the powderiness in this one. It's very delicate, very soft. There's mandarin orange in this. There's bergamot. There's grapefruit. You know, those are my favorites. There's jasmine. There's lily. There's apricot rose. There's also vanilla in this one. There's amber. There's tonka bean. It does have some complexity to it. The only thing that I would say definitely lets it down is the performance is not the best. However, this is just nostalgia in a bottle for me. I love the bottle on this. It reminds me of like a little bomb, you know, with a pin and everything. So I love the complexity of the fragrance. I love the fruity notes. I love the floral notes. I love the creaminess of it. It brings back so many memories of my mom wearing this. So this is why I will always have it. And I like to wear it to bed. To be honest, I don't really wear it out. I prefer to wear that fragrance to bed. So next up is Julia has a pew pew. If you follow me on TikTok, you know that that's a running joke on my page. I don't like to say the entire name of the fragrance. I just say pew pew. But anyway, this is Lipstick Fever. And this was it a blind buy? I believe it was a blind buy for me. And what got me to blind buy this was the powderiness. And I know I talk about powderiness of some fragrances choking me out, but I'm dying to always find a soft powdery fragrance, and I really love the soft powderiness of this fragrance. There's raspberry in it, there's violet, there's iris, patchouli, there's vanilla, there's cedar, and it gives me a woody, powdery, sweet, earthy, floral, slight creaminess to it type of feel. It is very comforting. It's a floral fruity fragrance, so obviously I love it. But to me, it gives me a sense of comfort, almost like a hug in a fragrance. So I like to wear this to bed, or I like to wear it when I'm casually just chilling at home, because it's familiar. It's almost like a delicate flower type of vibe that it gives me. So I love this fragrance, and it's something that I've been looking for in my collection. I just wanted something that was soft, that was comforting, and wouldn't do too much, and it doesn't do too much. I think it's just perfect. So this is Lipstick Fever, if I didn't mention the name already. Okay, and then this one, oops. Note to self, never pick up a fragrance by the head. Always pick it up by the bottle, not the head, because yeah, stuff can happen. It can drop. Anyway, this is a very fun bottle, I have to say. So this is Ajwad by Lattafa Perfumes. You'll find that I've got quite a bit of Lattafa perfumes in my collection because they make really, really good performing fragrances, and I love their dupes, if you like, their versions of fragrances. So this, to me, I purchased this because there was a lady on TikTok that said if you missed out on the Fumi Monet Exalte fragrance, you could pick up this one and give you a similar vibe. Being a nosy person that I am, I went ahead and purchased it. It's very inexpensive, and I do agree you do get a similar vibe. However, this one's a little drier. It doesn't give you that punchy brightness that the Exalte gives you. It's just dry. But essentially, as a fragrance, it's a fruity, musky, sweet, powdery type of fragrance. The rose in this one definitely shines, which is what the Exalte fragrance does. The rose in that one as well is very beautiful. And there's jasmine, there are obviously fruity notes in this one, there's vanilla, there's amber. I just feel like the balance of the rose, the fruity notes, and the vanilla in Exalte is a lot more sophisticated than this one. This one just gives me a really dry feel. But the fragrance itself is very pretty. The bottle is gorgeous. The performance on this one as well is amazing. Lattafa does long-lasting fragrances, so you will get your money's worth. And I do get compliments wearing this fragrance. So for what it is a really well done fragrance. All right, so next up, I've got Flower Bomb Ruby Orchid by Victor and Ralph. Now, out of the two flower bombs that I have, this is definitely my favorite. This is a vanilla, sweet, powdery, but not as powdery as the original flower bomb, fruity floral fragrance. If you are a sweet tooth kind of person, if you're a gourmand lover, this is definitely the fragrance for you. It's very comforting. It's very sweet. I do love the composition of this one. There's peach, there's orchid, there's vanilla. I love it. It's, yeah, to me, it doesn't perform as well as the original flower bomb. I give you that. It's definitely not as long lasting. However, for the type of scents that I love, my scent profile, this is the one that I lean to more because of the sweetness in it. So I love sweet fragrances. What can I tell you? Speaking of sweet fragrances, So Scandal. Ooh, ooh, ooh. So Scandal by Jean Paul Gaultier. I love this fragrance because this to me is sexy, it's seductive, it's everything in a bottle, and this is definitely going to get repurchased. I will always have this in my collection. It does wonders, it's fantastic. This is a tuberose heavy, sweet, white floral, very lactonic type of fragrance, very, very well done from JPG. There's raspberry, there's tubers, there's milk in this one, there's jasmine, there's orange blossom. The balance of this is intense. It's very sweet, it's very seductive, it's very suggestive. I always get compliments from my husband when I wear this fragrance. It's the come and get me type of fragrance in a bottle. Very beautiful designer fragrance. If you want a sweet fragrance and you love tuberose, I will definitely recommend this one. You will not regret it. Get you a sample, test it out. I will always have this in my collection. Like you could tell from the dent, this is beautiful. Next up, I've got Penhaligon's Babylon. And can you see? I love the bottle of this one. It's very elegant. I saw this at the airport, smelt it, fell in love with it, really thought about it, and then I purchased it online. And I love the woodiness of this. I do feel like this is perfect for men and women just because of how earthy and spicy and woody it is. There's also vanilla. It does have a little bit of powderiness to it. And as I said, the spice in it just is very sexy. Anything spicy just always yeah, it just brings out the sex appeal in a fragrance. There's saffron in this one, which I've said is a gorgeous note in any fragrance. There's nutmeg, there's coriander, there's vanilla, cedar, sandalwood. This is a very intense, very sophisticated, elevated type of fragrance. The performance on this is very disappointing, especially with the price point. However, if you don't mind carrying a decant or don't mind respraying it, I think you'll definitely enjoy this fragrance. The performance, I'd say, if I was to rate it, I'd say it's about average. You do get maybe about 5 hours depending on how you spray it, and you will get compliments. I do get compliments wearing this, but I do feel like the person needs to be slightly closer to me than it filling up an entire room, which is what I would expect with the price point. But anyway, I'm still happy that I've got it in my collection. I absolutely love and adore the fragrance. I like to wear it in autumn, winter months just because of how spicy and earthy it is. But obviously wear your fragrance whenever you want. And yeah, it's very elegant. I mean, look at the bottle. It's so cute. It is so stinking cute. I just love it. Everybody was creating dupes for the Baccarat Rouge fragrances, and this is one. This is the Anna Ibeida. I'm so sorry. Rouge by Latafa. I'm so sorry for butchering it. I will put the name on the screen. This is Yeah, this is a dupe for the Baccarat Rouge Extrait version. You've got Rouge in the name, so yeah, it is definitely a dupe for the Baccarat Rouge Extrait version. Out of all the dupes that I've smelt, this is probably the closest one. This is probably the one that I'd say, right, okay, like, woo, child. It's difficult to find the differences. Like they smell really, really similar. But as a fragrance, there is some spiciness to it. It is fruity, there's amber, there's citrus. It's a gorgeous fragrance by Lattafa. Now, the notes in this one is different from the Baccarat Rouge, but for some reason still, it does really still smell like Baccarat. I don't know how they do it, but anyway, the notes in this, there's pear, there's kumquat, there's bergamot, there's geranium, there's caramel, there's ambergris, there's oak moss, there's musk. And as I said, this is the closest dupe. So people say it smells more like the original Baccarat Rouge, but I think it smells closer to the extrait version, in my opinion. Since I've got both, I've worn both together and they smell very, very similar. So I love this. I love to have it because Baccarat Rouge is very expensive. And so when I'm going somewhere, I want the Baccarat Rouge effect. I spray this one. And because it's so long lasting and the performance of this is just as good as Baccarat Rouge, I don't have to overspray it. It does give me the longevity, it does give me the performance. So yeah, very inexpensive. I do have it. I believe I've got it saved on my Amazon storefront. So definitely check the link in my description box. You'll find a lot of the Arabian scents are linked, or Middle Eastern scents are linked in on my Amazon storefront, so definitely check it out if you're interested in purchasing this one. I did say that 2022 was the year of cherry fragrances, and this is another cherry scent. And this is, you can see it, this is, wait, I think that should be better. This is Wet Cherry Liquor by Boho Boko, and this is for men and women. This is heavy on cherry, like this is heavy on cherry. So this is a sweet cherry fruity fragrance. There's vanilla in it. It is a little bit nutty as well, which is, I love it. There's liquor, so it gives you that boozy effect. And I love cherry fragrances that have a boozy kick to it. There's just something really sophisticated and sexy, very mysterious about it. There's cherry at the top, there's cherry in the middle, there's also strawberry to give it some sweetness, there's caramel, there's Turkish rose, which goes really well with cherry. There's also vanilla, there's sandalwood, there's tonka bean, there's vetiver. It's a very complex fragrance, well blended, works so well. It does have a bit of powderiness to it as well. The few times that I've worn it, I do feel like it's got a slight powderiness to it, which can be the cherry just drying down, but you know, I find that to be really nice. I love the packaging of this one as well. The cap has more of like a velvet texture to it, which I love, and I love the fact that I can see the color of the juice. Very, very minimalistic and very pretty, very sophisticated. I love this fragrance so much. I love it. If you're a sweet tooth kind of person, you're gonna want to have this one in your collection, that's for sure. So this is a Nishane Extrait the Perfume in 100 Silent Ways. And Nishane is a niche fragrance house, and I honestly only found out about them from TikTok, from the ladies that I follow on TikTok. This is a gorgeous white floral fragrance. There's vanilla to it, a bit of powderiness. It is very sweet. There's tuberose. It's a fruity fragrance. It's everything that I love in a fragrance. Very well balanced. There's mandarin orange. There's jasmine. There's vanilla. The performance of this is great. Just for an extrait version, I wish it was longer performing, but it is a really good performing fragrance. It is very nice. It is worth the money. I just wish it had more of a longer performance to it. Very classic, very beautiful, sophisticated scent. I could wear it for any occasion whatsoever. I do love it. As you can see, it's been used quite well. So yeah, Nishane 100 Silent Ways. So next up is Floral Street Wild Vanilla Orchid. I love this fragrance. I do love the Floral Street range. I've tested quite a few of their fragrances. I have another one which I showed you in the first layer, and there's another one that I've just recently purchased. So I do love this range. I think they're British owned fragrance brand, and they make really nice candles, which is one of the reasons why I really love them as well. I've also tested out their candles and I love it. Anyway, this one is an amber floral fragrance. The vanilla in this is very, very nice. The vanilla is very prominent, is very much at the top. It's floral, it's a little bit powdery, it's sweet, it's comforting. I love to wear this in the autumn, winter months just because of how comforting it is. I'll say that the longevity is about moderate, so I do get about 5 hours. And then the scent trail is also about moderate, but just essentially it's a very comforting scent for me. So I don't really mind that it doesn't project that much. I can smell myself, I can smell it on me, and I really love the way the vanilla is prominent. Some other notes that are in here include sandalwood, there's orchid, obviously, there's citrus. There's jasmine in there as well. So, as I said, the vanilla is very prominent. It's at the top and it's at the base. This is definitely one of my favorite vanilla fragrances. I highly recommend it. They do sell a smaller size of it, almost like a travel size. So, if you wanted to test out this fragrance, you can go ahead and do that. But yeah, definitely check out this fragrance house if you're looking for a really nice vanilla. Next up is my one of two JPG Label fragrances. So this one is Label. This is the Eau de Parfum, and this is a vanilla, another vanilla scent, but this is like a sweet, fruity vanilla type of fragrance. It's a fruity, flowery vanilla fragrance, which I absolutely love. It's very suggestive. It's very sensual. Very sexy. I love to wear this with the man. It's the bottle as well is very suggestive, very feminine. You will radiate femininity with this fragrance, so I absolutely love it. There are quite a few notes in there that are my favorites: bergamot, vanilla, the floral notes. There's also leather in here, which is very strange to me because leather can be very overpowering if not done properly. But I believe that the leather in here is almost, I don't notice it. If not that I can actually check out the notes, I would have never guessed that there was leather in here. That's how subtle it is. There's amber, there's musk. It's a very, very pleasant, sweet, fruity vanilla fragrance that I love. Very comforting as well, very warm. I wear this all year round, really doesn't matter. As I said, I like to wear it at special occasions. So yeah, that's Label. On the flip side of Label, so that's the Eau de Parfum. I've got the Perfume version. I purchased this towards the end of 2022, and I have smelled this a few times already in Boots, and every time I smelt it, I don't know if it's that the ones in Boots just didn't, I don't know, they just smelled very medicinal. They didn't smell sweet. They didn't smell, they didn't give off the smell that a lot of my fragrance sisters were telling me that, oh, this perfume is fantastic. I wasn't getting it. So what did I do? I went ahead and I blind bought it because I thought that the ones in store, maybe they're off, they've been exposed to light, and so the smell has changed somehow. And I don't regret it because this is a gorgeous vanilla, sweet, fruity vanilla fragrance. There's amber, it's warm, it's very, very comforting as well. So I would definitely say this is an amber vanilla fragrance. And again, I wear it, during intimate times, sensual, it's very feminine, it's very sexy. And as I said, this is the Eau de Pa, no, not the Eau de Parfum, this is the Label Les Parfums, which is supposed to be stronger than the Eau de Parfum that I've just shown you. I know it can get a little bit confusing, but there's also extrait, which you should always consider consider as well in fragrances. But anyway, this is stronger than the previous one. There's also pear in this one. There's tonka bean. There's jasmine. There's vanilla. So as I said, it's very, very comforting. What's the difference between the two? I'll say that the vanilla in this one is a little bit maybe more mature, and I think it's because of the tonka bean. It just makes it a little deeper, a little deeper, a little stronger. The jasmine in here as well. I really love jasmine in fragrances, so it just marries with the tonka bean and the vanilla quite nicely. There is no fruitiness. Sorry, there's no citrus in this one. The notes in this is pear, which is also in the previous one, but they're different. That's just basically what I'm trying to tell you, that they smell different. They give off the same type of vibe, but they do smell different. And the juice in this one, it's very, very pretty. As I said, I got this towards the end of 2022, so I haven't used it that much, but I do recommend it if you're looking for a warm, comforting, feminine vanilla fragrance. Speaking of extrait perfumes, I've got Navita's Perfumes in Chocolate Queen, and this is a collaboration with Gabby Loves Perfumes, I think, here on YouTube. I absolutely love her channel. I watch her all the time, and honestly, if I follow her, I don't even know what my collection would look like. So I do watch her when she's like giving her honest reviews and stuff like that, but her collection is on another level. Anyway, she recently collaborated with Navita's Perfumes to come out with Chocolate Queen, which is an extrait de parfum, and it's a very strong concentration. The oils are stronger in this one, and so it should last longer, essentially. So there are quite a few gourmand notes in this one. There's dark chocolate, there's hazelnut, there's chocolate fudge, there's caramel, there's bitter almond, Irish cream, vanilla, amberwood, praline, sandalwood. It's a very, very, very indulgent smell. So if you love creamy chocolates, Irish cream, if you love almonds, like if you love vanilla, you're absolutely gonna love this fragrance. I love it. It's very comforting. I like to wear it with my husband. I like to wear it at home. It just makes me feel very sweet, very delicious, very delicate, very feminine. It's just very sensual all around. The only downside of this is the performance. I just feel like it could have performed a lot better in terms of the longevity. I don't get the extrait, the extraitness, if you like, of this fragrance is not as long lasting as it should be. Other than that, everything else about it is fantastic. I love the bottle. I love the size. I love the fragrance. I love the smell. And if you're looking for a chocolate gourmand type of fragrance profile, this is definitely the one for you. Like, this is her in a bottle. So yeah, I love this. I recommend it. I'm just gonna carry a decant around and spray myself if I do wear it out. But yeah, I wear it around the house. I really like wearing it at home because it's very comforting to me. Next up, I've got one of two fragrances from Snif. Snif is not based in the UK yet, like they don't ship to the UK yet, so they're based in the US, but I've been blessed enough, lucky enough to receive PR from them. So I do have two fragrances from them. The first one is Sweet Ash, which you can see from the dent. I love this fragrance. It does give off the Baccarat Rouge type of vibe. It gives off that essence, that creamy cotton candy type of essence, but it definitely has its own character, its own personality. It is an amber vanilla fragrance. The vanilla in this one is very mature. I'll say it's not childish, it's woody, it's earthy, it's a little bit spicy. Some notes in here. There's definitely patchouli, there's bergamot, there's tonka bean, there's juniper, there's moss. So there are quite a few notes in here that I absolutely love. But the fragrance itself is is very comforting. I really love that cotton candy, that kind of fluffy vanilla type of scent, which this one is. I get compliments wearing this one. I do like to wear. I love the size of this, But one of the things I really love about Snif is when you purchase a fragrance, you get a sample version alongside the alongside the full size fragrance. And basically, you're supposed to test out the sample, and if you don't like it, you can return the fragrance and get your money back. So I think a lot of brands should be doing that because it just makes it a lot easier to test something without feeling like you're going to be stuck with the fragrance. Here in the UK, you can't even return anything. Once you've opened it, they just they just don't care. They don't want to listen. Even if the fragrance is off, like there's a lot of hoops you need to jump through, which is really exhausting. So I really like that approach of having a sample and you test it out, and if you like it, you keep it. If you don't like it, you return it. So I really like that. I'm waiting for them to ship to the UK so that you girls in the UK you can get your hands on it. But in the US, I do recommend that you test out the fragrance, purchase it, and if you like it, you can keep it. This one definitely is a favorite. I also love the packaging. I feel like it's very luxe, very easy to throw in your bag as well. And I love the size. So yeah, this is definitely a good one. The second one I have is Tarte Deco, and this is a cherry profile type of fragrance. So similar to sweet ash, it gives me again that comforting scent, but more of the sourness that you get from cherry notes. So some of the notes in this fragrance include black cherry, there's raspberry, which kind of infuses a little bit more sweetness into it. There's rose, there's jasmine, there's mimosa, there's birchwood, there's vetiver, and there's vanilla. So it's again, it's a beautiful, beautiful cherry fragrance. This featured in my like countdown of fragrances for 2022, especially for my most complimented fragrances in December. I wore this and I got the "What are you wearing?" question several times. I love this fragrance. It's very beautiful. As I said with Sniff, you could test out the scent, and if you don't like it, you can return it. But I think if you're on the hunt for a cherry fragrance, this one should make it to your list. I do want to say that 2022 was my year of buying Zherzhov fragrances. Like I went in with Zherzhov scents, and honestly, Zherzhov isn't the cheapest brand out there, isn't the cheapest niche brand. And I spent some coins on Zherzhov. The first one being Dama Bianca. And I was influenced by Jade. If you follow her on TikTok, she's amazing. This for me reminds me of what I would wear, or rather, yeah, it's a fragrance I would have worn on my wedding day because of how elegant. It's very elegant. It's very soft, very sophisticated in the scent profile. It's powdery but soft powdery. It's a vanilla scent. It's citrus. It's comforting. It's a white floral scent. So this is definitely a musky, floral, woody scent to me. And I absolutely love the notes in this one. It's got some really unique notes such as kumquat, there's lime, there's Italian iris, there's violet, there's lilac, there's Egyptian jasmine, lily of the valley, there's vanilla, sandalwood, white musk, and so on and so forth. The combination of notes just makes it a really, really elegant scent. Definitely one that I would wear on my wedding day. Performance as well is very good. I would say it's above average, and people will smell you. The scent profile on this one, the projection is really, really good. Um, I haven't had any problems with this. I love the scent. Even the bottle suggests bridal. Like, I mean, seriously, look at it. It's just gorgeous. And this is the Casamorati line. There is the normal Zherzhov line, and this is the Casamorati one. So yeah, it just so happens that a lot of my Jojo fragrances have more of a golden type of yellow packaging, and so they're pretty much close to each other. Like I mean, I display them close to each other. But anyway, this one is Lira. This is also part of the Casmarati line. This is the packaging. So Very, very beautiful. I love the bottle. I prefer the older style bottle, so this has had a revamp. But the older style bottle, the woman doesn't have a white outline, it's more of a golden outline, and the bottle itself is a lot darker. Now, I had a bad experience purchasing this fragrance. I bought it from Harrods. I was on a hunt for the older style packaging. And if you shop on Harrods, you notice that they display the older style packaging, which is very, very misleading. And so I purchased it on the premise that it was the older style packaging. I was told that what's on the website is what I would get. And then I got the newer style packaging, and so it was a whole hoo-ha with Harrods, and they're really rude, very disrespectful. So safe to say that if I shop at Harrods, it will be because I have no choice whatsoever, and I will definitely be looking for alternatives in other stores. Aside from the bad experience purchasing this fragrance, the fragrance itself is very, very nice. It's an amber floral fragrance. The citrus in this one is gorgeous. It sits at the very top, at the opening. It gives you, as people say, that lemon pound cake type of feel. The caramel in this is gorgeous. The vanilla is just delicious. It's sweet. It's definitely a gourmand lover's dream. It's a little bit powdery. The cinnamon in this is gorgeous. I absolutely love this fragrance. Now, some of the notes include blood orange, bergamot, lavender, all of which sit at the top. There's cinnamon, there's jasmine, there's licorice, there's caramel, there's vanilla, there's musk. There's everything that you need for a comforting scent. So I've worn this out a few times, and I do say that the longevity is pretty, pretty good. I'd say it's long lasting, easily over 6 hours, more 7 hours without having to respray. The dry down is very, very comforting. The vanilla sits quite nicely. It's very creamy, very sweet. Definitely want to try if you're looking for a gourmand fragrance. This one featured as one of my top fragrances of 2022 just because of how delicious it is. So I do recommend you try this out. If you can go into store and test it, I recommend that you do. Spray it on your arm and walk around and see how you feel. But yeah, this is definitely a really good purchase. Aside from the bad experience, I spent close to £220 or more on this fragrance. So yeah, that's why I was a little bit annoyed by Harrods. But either way, it's a gorgeous scent. Next up, I've got another Casamarati fragrance, and this one is 1888. And this is your warm, spicy, woody fragrance. Definitely unisex, in my opinion. I feel like it's very, very earthy. The amber is delicious in this one as well. Beautifully done. There's pepper, there's saffron. I always tell you, any fragrance with saffron in it, oh, delicious. So there's rose in this one as well. Again, a saffron is very soft. It's like an earthy type of smell. It works really well with leather fragrances as well. I've noticed. I normally see saffron and leather being put together. But anyway, saffron in there. There's rose. There's neroli. There's amber. There's patchouli. I love it. This is a fragrance. I wouldn't say it's a great blind buy. I definitely wouldn't say that. The leather in this one, from the saffron, is very intense. I would say it's a very woody, earthy fragrance. And if you don't really like that, you might not like this. There is no sweetness at all in this, which is like the polar opposite of the fragrances that I purchased. But for some reason, I just love the masculinity of this one. I love the strength. I love the woodiness of it. I love the spiciness of it. It's just a very different scent profile, but I love it. I love the bottle. So, if you're looking for an amber floral fragrance that has no sweetness and it's more strength and power, then this is probably the one for you to test out. But I definitely recommend that you test it out. I wouldn't say you should blind buy it at all. Right, we're getting towards the end of the shelf. The next one is Kayali Invite Only. And I have a review or first impression or whatever you want to call it up on my YouTube channel. And when I first smelled this fragrance, I'm not gonna lie, I thought the booziness was intense, and I was like, it's so boozy. But it's one of those fragrances that you need to keep smelling. It will open up your senses and your appreciation for fragrances, which it definitely did. So the more I wore it, the more I started seeing the sweetness. Yes, the booziness is there, but then I started seeing the cherry notes, the amber, the warm spice. Like I started seeing all of that sweetness come through. So some of the notes include honey, there's chocolate, there's sour cherry, there's tobacco, there's rose, there's amber, patchouli, vanilla, agarwood, oud, like the different types of notes that will make a really earthy, very warm, nutty, amber type of fragrance, which this this embodies. This is a perfect winter autumn type of fragrance. I highly highly recommend it for winter autumn. Every time I wear it, I get asked what am I wearing. My husband wears it and he smells gorgeous. Honestly, he smells delectable. When I wear it, I smell strong, I smell powerful. It's very, very nice. I highly recommend it. Of all the Kayali fragrances, I'll say my top three include Invite Only. There's Kayali, the vanilla one, and probably the Utopia one. I feel like those rank as my favorite three fragrances from Kayali because they're just unique. They're different, and I love the scent profiles. Okay, next up is another Zherzhoff fragrance, but this is the other style of the Zherzhoff, and this is Naxos. And this is the 1861 Naxos, and this one was a blind buy. I'm not even gonna lie, I blind bought this because I heard Jade again talk about this fragrance, and I was like, sold, done deal. Like, say no more. I'm purchasing it. And a few other fragrance lovers on TikTok mentioned it, and I was like, it's for me. Yeah, thanks. Thanks for recommending my fragrance. So I purchased this straight away, and I have no regrets. This is a spicy fragrance to me. I feel like the vanilla in this is done really, really well. The citrus, it's sweet, it's comforting as well. There's honey in this, there's bergamot, there's lemon. Those are some of my favorites. There's jasmine, there's tobacco leaf, there's vanilla. It's a gorgeous, as a matter of fact, I need to spray it because it is so nice. The more I talk about it, the more I just wanna, yeah. The tobacco in it just gives you kind of like that very strong, almost boozy. I always say boozy, but I'm pretty sure it's the tobacco, almost boozy like effect in the fragrance. And then it just starts getting sweet, and the honey comes through, and it's just a really complex fragrance that evolves over time. I also love the performance of the scent. I love the longevity of it. I love the projection of it. It's a well done fragrance by Jojo, and I'm so happy I have it in my collection. This is powerful, and can we just appreciate the gorgeousness that is the bottle? Anything that's frosted glass always gets me. Like, and last one on this shelf is the Alien Goddess Intense. Um, and this was a Christmas present from my brother actually, and I've tested this out. I got a sample from Sephora UK. I tested it out. I fell in love, and my brother bought it for me for Christmas. I haven't really worn it too much. I've only tested the sample, but why I wanted it is just because of the vanilla. The vanilla sits beautifully in this fragrance, and vanilla and coconut in a fragrance always gets me. Like, that combination always gets me. So there's bergamot, there's coconut, there's jasmine, of course, there's vanilla, there's cashmere wood. So for me, the comfort that I'd get from this fragrance is really what sold it. And obviously the citrus note, and it's a floral fragrance, some of the things that I personally love. So there'll be more to come about this fragrance. I haven't really worn it that much. It's pretty much a newer fragrance in my collection. And that's pretty much it for this shelf. I've gone through everything. So we're just gonna move on up to the next shelf. I'm gonna try and do this entire wall in this video, and then part two will be the other side as well. So I think it'll be easy to break it up like that.